and welcome to You and I Make a Thing. I'm your host, Thomas Beutel. In this first episode, I want to tell you a little bit about why I'm doing this podcast. You might already know me from the Creative Shoofly podcast, and you might be wondering, why start another podcast? Well, I've been enjoying making the Creative Shoofly, and in particular, episodes where I've invited guests to talk about their creative process. I'm also a fan of improv, and I wondered if there was some way to be more improvisational with my guests. One day back in 2022, I had a spark of an idea. How about inviting my fellow artists to make something that neither of us have made before? That spark is how You and I Make a Thing was born. But I still had to figure some things out. How would we come up with the idea? Would there be prompts? When would we actually make the project? Would the episodes be split up between idea genesis and finishing the project, or would they be combined? After mulling over the idea for a few months, I decided to use the following format. I invite my guest, and before recording, I ask them to write down 3 things that they might want to try making, things that they've thought about but have never tried. I also make a list of 3 things, and in the first half of the episode, we compare our lists and see what things are in common. The project could be collaborative, something we work on together, or it could be something we work on solo, as long as it is something that neither of us have done before. Once the project is done, we record the second half of the episode, and we talk about what we made and the struggles we encountered. I can't tell you how exciting it was to land on this idea. Now that I've completed a few episodes, how much fun it's been so far. Each episode is a surprise. I go into each episode not knowing what project I'll be working on, only that I'll be working on something that I've never done before. And for someone like me who loves to try new things, I get super excited before each episode starts. Now, my original goal was to be able to finish our projects in a few weeks' time so that I could have maybe 1 episode a month. What I've discovered, though, is that many of these projects take many months to complete. And that's the main reason the episodes are not split up between idea genesis and project completion. There would simply be too large of a gap between them. So for the sake of you, my listeners, you will hear us come up with the idea and then finish the idea in the same episode, regardless of how many months the project takes. That also means that episodes will be released sporadically. My plan is to have several projects in the works simultaneously. It puts extra pressure on me, but I would love to be able to publish 1 episode a month. We'll see if I'm able to manage that. In the meantime, I hope you enjoy You and I Make a Thing. I will be rebroadcasting a couple of You and I Make a Thing episodes that I had already recorded on the Creative Shoofly, and I also have a brand new episode coming shortly. If you're on Instagram, connect with me at Beutel and tell me about your creative endeavors. And if you enjoy the podcast, please consider leaving a review and sharing the podcast with other art enthusiasts. Your support helps me continue to bring these creative explorations to life. Thank you for listening, and keep making, keep exploring, and keep surprising yourself.